Today we're going to be talking about partial products. Partial products are a different way of looking at multiplication. We generally do partial products with 2 or 3 digit numbers or greater multiplied by a 1-digit number. The first partial product example that we do is we are going to be looking at the number 34 times 2. When we look at partial products, we are going to do math a little bit backwards. We're still going to be using our number here, but instead of multiplying in the ones column first, we're going to multiply with the greatest column first. So our first problem is going to be 2 times 30. The way we write this is we're going to write 2 groups of 30. Then our next problem is 2 times 4. We're going to write 2 groups of 4. The reason why we use multiplication when we say groups of is because it is a multiplication problem, but we want to make sure that we're thinking of them as groups. So 2 groups of 30 is going to be, does anybody have an answer? Peyton? 60. 2 groups of 4 is going to be Haley?
8.
And then we can do our addition. Our book does addition horizontally for partial products, but I like to do it vertically like we're doing it here. So 60 plus 8 is going to be 68. Nice. Next problem is going to be a little bit more difficult because it's dealing with some different numbers. We are going to have 83 times 5. We're going to find that value of 83 groups, or 5 groups of 83. So there are different ways that we could do it, but today we're just focusing on partial products. So we're going to have 5 groups of 80 and 5 groups of 3. 5 groups of 80 would be the same as 5 groups of 8, and then we can place a 0 on it. So what would 5 groups of 80 be worth? What's that value? CJ?
400.
400. And then 5 groups of 3. Caitlin?
15.
And then we are going to add, and we are going to see that that number is 415. The next problem that we're going to do is a little bit more. This is not found in our math journals. Our problem is going to be 217 times 7. When we go through and think of 217 times 7, we're going to be looking at 7 groups of 200s, 7 groups of 10s, and 7 groups of 7s. So 7 groups of 200s would be, any answers? Peyton?
1,400.
1,400. 7 groups of 10s would be, Carter?
70.
70. And 7 groups of 7s would be, Sam?
49.
And then we're going to do our addition. 0, 0, and 9 is the value of 9. 4 and 7 and 0 would be, Caden? No, you got it. 7 and 4 is 11. You just got stage right there. And then we have 1 and 4, which is 5 and 1. Carry that down, so that would be our answer. Now, I'm going to do one more problem. I'm going to post the problem, and then I want you to pause the video if you're going to be watching this, and then I want you to work it out on paper, and then I want you to check it on the answers. So, our next problem is going to be 793 times 6.
7.
So, I'd like you to pause, and I'd like you to go through your work, and then I'd like you to check it after you are done. So we're going to be looking at 6 groups of 700, 6 groups of 90, and 6 groups of 3. If you received this answer, nice job.